Hello and namaste. Welcome to the Mousham podcast. For my first episode, I have a very special guest, Miss Nepal 2022, Priyanka Rani Joshi. In this podcast, we talk about her life as Miss Nepal, the journey, hope, faith, belief, and more. Enjoy our conversation. Priyanka, I really wanted to know what is a perfect day for Priyanka? Like a perfect day. The time you wake up to the time you go back to bed.
Well, in my opinion, for me, I have two sorts of perfect days. So it depends on what I'm feeling. Sometimes I like being cramped up, jam-packed with work. I like being on my toes. I like being led away. I like having a lot of things to do minute to minute. And straight away, as soon as I've had those kind of weeks, I like having my downtime as well. And when I've had these weeks of just work, purely running in and out of work all the time, I like having my downtime where I'm sitting with my family, resting well, eating a lot of food, binging on a really good series or watching movies. That's my another perfect day. So my definitions lingers from one end of the spectrum to another. But there's not just one day that I call perfect. It oscillates between these two.
Is there like certain thing that you expect your perfect day to have, or is it just like you're very random and let the day do its thing?
Yeah, it needs to be random. So when I plan something, I go very rigid with my plans. If I have something on the dot, I schedule them. So every timing becomes very important to me. So when I work like that, I don't enjoy the day as much. But when I leave it random, but knowing what I'm going to be doing the entire day, that's when the perfect day turns out perfectly. There's just perfection and imperfections. That's what I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think too. I mean, I think the randomness, I believe in randomness too. Things not, because I think most of the time that I remember, the moments that really last forever are the things that are not planned, I think anyway.
Yeah.
And talking about was your Miss Nepal journey planned? Was that a perfect day, Priyanka? Was that day when you won the Miss Nepal 2022, was that your perfect day ever?
Brother, there's not a single day that's been more perfect than that one. Like, you know why I say it was a perfect day? I don't say it because I won. I say that was a perfect day because I've never felt better any other day. I've never felt more confident. I've never felt more lucky. I've never felt an adrenaline that pushes you to a level where you feel like you can achieve things. So I think that day was jam-packed with power. I think superpower, something superficially and from some another planet was pushing me towards doing something greater and beyond my capabilities and scope. So that day had to be a perfect day for me. And that was one of the days that I'd been waiting for a long time in my life because I think I thought about going to Miss Nepal for a very long time. You know, you have to plan the journey onto Miss Nepal, but you can never plan the day how it's going to go. When you're appearing for the final stage, you cannot think I'm going to answer this question a certain way because you don't know what they're going to ask you. But after having prepared for Miss Nepal for years and years on end, having that day come down to such perfectly felt and such perfectly molded moments, I would say that was a perfect day.
Because I saw the video too, Priyanka, when you were crowned Miss Nepal, and I saw your family too cheering up. Your dad is standing and you're like, saying, yeah, that's my daughter Priyanka, the Miss Nepal 2022. Were you expecting, or was there any doubt or such or whatsoever that you might not win Miss Nepal 2022?
So the shred of doubts always... there wasn't any shred of doubt, when I was preparing for Miss Nepal, there's almost anything uncertain. You can either win, you might not win,
Exactly.
but you don't go there just to maybe like win the competition, right? You also go there to learn.
Exactly.
So what I knew in my head was when the finale day was onto the schedule, I knew that I'd learned so much. I knew that I'd put into the entire journey as much as I knew, as much as I could have. And all I knew was regardless of the result, I would be happy. Because if there was any stones unturned, I would have probably gone back home and thought maybe I could have done this better, done that better. But I left no stones unturned when I was appearing for Miss Nepal. So I just left the results to the judges
To the
that day.
judges and
Yeah.
probably the God. Because on the event itself, Priyanka, you talk about hope. I was watching the videos and you do talk about hope
That's
there.
my favorite word,
That is a
hope.
favorite word. So there was
That's
a
my
hope.
favorite word.
There was a hope that, okay, I think I'll win the Miss Nepal 2022. Or a belief.
There was hope, and there was a certain kind of belief as well, because nothing without believing in yourself works out for you. So there was a lot of percentage of belief, but there was a lot of push of hope as well. Because when you believe without hoping, that does not work.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. So yeah, coming back to it, I do talk about hope, and hope has to be one of my perfect words. I mean, my favorite words, because when I talk about just randomly, I pull out words like hope and believe and success that really pushes me on to do something better. And I think, how beautiful is the sound of the word?
The word itself, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. When you're feeling down, hope.
sound, the meaning. That's just
It's very uplifting, of
yeah,
course.
that's just upliftment for everybody anywhere across the world when you just say hope.
Was there a time, Priyanka, like where you were very hopeless and we were like, at the, when you hit the rock bottom, let's say, and do you remember the time? Do you have experience of it?
Um, that's a very deep question, actually. So,
Was there a time?
there's been so many times where I felt hopeless, but I wouldn't say there's one time that I've actually come across being bottomless.
Okay.
So that's a very big and heavy scope that we're talking about, because I've known about so many people and so many experiences where people really feel bottomless and they feel like they're sinking down. But I cannot maybe match up to the feelings and the incidents that they've been through. But when we talk about being hopeless, that comes upon every day. You dream, you believe, and you want to achieve. And what I've really seen around people is when you dream and believe, sometimes you don't achieve.
You don't, yeah? Not
And when you
always.
don't do that, you feel like you're hopeless. You feel like nothing's working out for you. But I think the hope is actually in the part where you believe. So if you think you can do it, you're going to put so much work into yourself that regardless of what result comes out, you're actually going to outdo yourself even after that competition or even after that stage of your time. So when you believe and when you hope, even when you're feeling hopeless, that pushes you forward.
Yeah, I think the good thing about hope is when you have this hope, right, in you and a belief in you, there's never giving up.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a hope. You
Yeah.
fail, you hope, you try. You fail, you hope, you try. So it's always, I think it's so essential for existence and survival, of course, and of course in a
Yes.
development of an individual, right? I think we all together as people itself, we survive, we exist because we are hopeful creatures. We hope
Yes.
for a better life. We hope for better things to happen. We hope for a better day, a better sunshine, a better stars aligning together for you. And I think the stars aligned for
The
you.
stars did
Did
align.
align, yeah. And then you're crowned Miss Nepal 2022.
I was actually even taking this forward in my journey to Miss World, because I was representing our glorious country, Nepal, right? And we were competing in the world stage. So when you're competing at a world stage, you need to have a USP that can take your country forward. So I was just thinking and learning about how our country has moved forward in so many days that we've felt hopeless. There's been so many incidents where we've sat down and thought maybe there's no hope in our country. But what's very special about our people is that we're resilient and we've gotten up from anything that has been thrown on us. So what I took forward in Miss World was hope.
Yeah, I could see that in Your Beauty with the Purpose video. I was watching that video, and one thing really stands out. I mean, I love the video. We'll talk more about the project too.
Sure.
But in that video, did this old guy, and he says, 60 वर्षपछि बल्ल बत्ती आयो बत्ती देख्न पाइयो कति किरा खायो होला भनेर उसले भन्यो राइट एन्ड आई वाज लाइक खानेकुरामा किरा परेर खाएको कि राति बिकज देयर इज नो लाइट्स राइट एन्ड देन इट रियली struck me so much. And during one of the interview with one of the person there was a woman too.
And she was saying Bhagya bhaye po, right? And because that is the story of Nepal, if you really think about it. That is not just Upar Dangari, is that the place,
Yes,
right?
Upar Dangari is my project.
Yeah, that's not just one place where things, now the things are better with, of course, thank you to your project, of course. But in reality, there are so many corners in Nepal. People go through that, and even worse every day. There's no electricity, there's no road, there's no hospitals, right, for basic healthcare. And in those situations, like one of your projects that really stood out to me, you're bringing electricity. Now you're building a community hall, and you're also making them self-sufficient with teaching them, how to cook, and having that entire khaza set for, I think, homestay, and that was a part of your project, I think.
Yes, it was.
So what I really want to ask you is not exactly about what really you did with the project, like building community hall or bringing electricity, but I want you to tell me about what was the experience of doing it, meeting them, knowing about their life, and then touching them in a way that it has brightened their day, literally. What was that experience, Priyanka?
Mousham, the project that I've done for Miss World from Nepal, the more that I give to the place, the more that I get back from the place. Not in a materialistic manner, but in a manner that really fulfills my role as a human, fulfills my journey as a Miss Nepal. So when I went up to Upar Dangari, I knew nobody in this place. कोही पनि थाहा थिएन हामी त्यहाँ जाने भनेर गएको पनि हैन कि. सो हामी चितवन घुमिरहेको थियो मेरो प्रोजेक्टहरू के गर्ने भनेर सोचिराख्दाखेरि चाहिँ ठ्याक्कै उपर दाङ्गडी भन्ने ठाउँ छ त्यहाँ चाहिँ खाजा खानु रोक्नु पर्ला भनेर गाडी रोकेका थियौँ हामीले हैन. अनि गाडी रोकेर इट्स लाइक अ स्टेयरवे टु हेभन के उपर दाङ्गडी जाने बाटो 100वटा सिडी चढेपछि चाहिँ माथि एउटा स्पेस आउँछ. अनि त्यो स्पेसमा चाहिँ होमस्टे जस्तो छ तर एकदमै अलिकति बिकट कि उहाँहरूले राम्ररी गर्नु सक्नु भएको थिएन नि त. त्यही भएर हामी त्यहाँ पुग्यौँ हैन. पुगेपछि अब खाजा खाने भनेर गएको थियौँ नि त. सो खाजा खाने भनेर बस्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब के छ भन्दाखेरि खासै उहाँहरूसँग केही मेन्युहरू त हुँदैन हैन. तर केही अप्सनहरू पनि थिएन के भन्दाखेरि. अनि के खाने भन्दाखेरि चाउचाउ छ, चाउचाउ बनाएर दिन्छु है भनेर भन्यो. अनि हामीले हुन्छ चाउचाउ खाउँला नि त भनेर बस्दाखेरि म थिएँ, मेरो आमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो. आमा सँगसँगै चाहिँ हाम्रो हिडन ट्रेजरको डिरेक्टर एकजना हुनुहुन्थ्यो. हामी चाहिँ यही ब्युटी विथ अ पर्पसकै साइट खोज्ने हेर्ने भनेर निस्केका थियौँ कि खासमा. अनि बस्यो है. अनि उहाँहरूले चाउचाउ ल्याउनु भयो कि तर डेक्चीमा ल्याएपछि चाहिँ जुन भाँडामा पकाउँछ त्यही भाँडामा ल्याउनु भएको थियो हैन. अनि त्यो डेक्चीमा ल्याउनु भएपछि चाहिँ हामीले खासमा बोल्दिनु न बोटुको दिनु न भनेर भन्यो. अनि उहाँले छैन भन्नुभयो हैन. अनि छैन भनेपछि कसरी खाने त भने हातले खाने भन्नुभयो.
हातले चाउचाउ खाने?
चाउचाउ खाने भन्नुभयो कि. अनि त्यो हेर्दाखेरि अब यहाँ त होमस्टे चलाएर सबैजनाको जीवनी चल्ने भनेर भनेको छ. होमस्टे त यसरी कसरी चल्ने, कस्तो मान्छेहरू आउँछ भनेर खोजी गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति अब पुश भएको भए हामी जस्तो मान्छेहरू पनि जानु सक्ने हैन. त्यस्तो राम्रो कि काठमाडौँको जस्तो नगरको छ अहिले त्यस्तै हुने एउटा पोटेन्सियल भएको ठाउँमा चाहिँ अब तालिम नपुगेर भनौँ, ट्रेनिङ्सहरू नपुगेर भनौँ, पछाडिएर बसेका छन् कि त्यहाँका मान्छेहरू. त्यो देख्ने बित्तिकै मलाई त कस्तो नरमाइलो लाग्यो कि यस्तो पोटेन्सियल भएको ठाउँ उहाँहरूले नथाहा पाएर हो कि नजानेर हो कि किन यसरी बसिरहनु भएको छ भनेर मलाई क्वेसन हुँदा पनि उहाँहरू त खुसी नै हुनुहुन्थ्यो हैन. जस्तो छ त्यस्तै छ हामी रमाएरै बसेका छौँ भनेर भन्नुभएको थियो. तर उहाँहरूलाई के चाहिन्छ भनेर भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँहरूले हामीलाई के गरी खानु चाहिँ मन छ, यहाँ जोस् कति गर्नु सकिन्छ गर्नु पाइरहेकै छैनौँ भनेर भन्नुभयो हैन उहाँहरूले. त्यो भन्ने बित्तिकै अब हामीले के गर्नु सक्छौँ भनेर मैले यसो सर्वे गर्दै जाँदाखेरि त अब होमस्टे छ हैन. होमस्टे अब स्कुलहरू पनि छ. तर त्यो अगाडि किन बढ्दैन भन्दाखेरि एउटा बेसिक नेसेसरी अफ इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नै छैन कि. बत्ती नै छैन. अब बत्ती नभएपछि त्यो 6-7 घन्टामा मात्रै काम गरेर कसरी खानु, कसरी भ्याउनु हैन. त्यही भएर बत्ती लग्यो भने चाहिँ यहाँ के गर्नु सकिन्छ भनेर सोचेँ हैन. त्यही भएर अब म त तुफान कुद्दै काठमाडौँ पुग्ने बित्तिकै एनइएकाको है हाम्रो नेपाल इलेक्ट्रिसिटी अथोरिटीका अनि कुलमानजीले हेल्प गर्नुभयो. देन वी वर एबल टु टेक इलेक्ट्रिसिटी टु दिस प्लेस टु आवर उपर दाङ्गरी इन अबाउट 6 months. अब इलेक्ट्रिफाई त गरेँ हैन. गरेपछि के गर्ने भन्दाखेरि अब गरेपछि चाहिँ अब फेरि भिजिटको लागि गयो नि त. अब कस्तो भएछ कस्तो देखिरहेछ भनेर हेर्दाखेरि कोहीले बत्ती नै जला छैन, चलाएकै थिएन कि बत्तीहरू
युज गरेको थिएन. अनि बत्ती किन नचलाउनु भयो भन्दाखेरि अब बत्ती त चलायो नानी एक महिना पैसा नै छैन भनेर बत्तीलाई तिर्ने भनेर भन्छ. अनि इट्स भेरी मिनिमल के. Is that ever cross your mind अगाडि like okay that can be a case भनेर चाहिँ?
Not really. So you just solve problem one after another. So even I don't think even they realize that could be a possible problem towards the end. So उहाँहरूले बत्ती नै चलाउनु भएको थिएन कि अनि त्यसपछि अब बत्ती किन नचलाउनु भएको भन्दाखेरि 1 महिना चलायो 1 महिना चलाएपछि बिल आयो बिल भर्नलाई अलिकति पैसा पुगेन हाम्रो अरू काम पनि थियो त्यही भएर बत्ती नचलाएको भनेर भन्नुहुन्छ है अनि एनईको अब यो वाट अनुसार पैसा लिने हुन्छ कि खासमा त्यहाँ धेरै पनि हुँदैन हैन तर त्यसरी हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँलाई ला अब आय आर्जनको स्रोत पनि निकाल्नु पर्यो अब बत्ती लगाएर मात्रै मेरो प्रोजेक्ट त कम्प्लिट हुने भएन कम्प्लिट त आफै सेल्फ सस्टेनिङ इकोनोमिकल हुनु पर्यो हैन इट निड्स टु रन इट्स ओन इकोलोजी भनेर सोचे कि and also my time for Miss World was pushed ahead so it gave me even more time and that is the time when I came to the US. A lot of Nepali diaspora has helped me make this project possible.
So the fundraising you're part of, that was for this project?
So that was for this project. So I came to the US अनि हाम्रो फन्डरेजिङहरू भयो अनि फर्केर त्यहाँ के गर्ने भन्दाखेरि हामीले कम्युनिटी हल बनायौँ हामीले स्कुललाई मोडिफाई गर्यौँ हामीले सँगसँगै हाम्रो होमस्टे र हनी बी फार्मिङलाई पनि एकदमै इकोलोजिकली सेल्फ सस्टेनिङ बनाउँदाखेरि चाहिँ अहिले त्यहाँका मान्छेहरूले आफ्नो बत्तीको खर्च सँगसँगै उहाँको बच्चाहरूको स्कुलको फिस सँगसँगै आफ्नो दैनिकी जीवनमा हुने खर्च सबै यही हाम्रो होमस्टे हनी बी फार्मिङको आउने स्रोतले आय आर्जनले अगाडि बढाइरहनु पर्छ भने
अहिलेको त्यहाँको अवस्था चाहिँ कस्तो छ
अहिले they've raised more than 60% of पहिला जति थियो नि अहिले when you survey and look into the percentage of income that is compared to then and now it's up by 60%. So it's a huge difference. So experience भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ this is a very wholesome experience for somebody like me, a very young girl who just wants to take electricity but has done and moved forward with the help of so many Nepalese around the world. You know, that experience gives me a bigger hope, bigger hope for light, bigger hope for life, bigger hope for people who cannot sometimes vouch for themselves, but where we can raise awareness, where we can raise voices for the people who need something at a certain time to just move one step further.
It is definitely inspiring, you know. It is definitely inspiring your story or the story of Upardangari and the people, the story before, the story now. And I'm really excited to see and hear about the story in the future.
So I'm planning to go back. गएपछि चाहिँ हाम्रो हेल्थ क्याम्प पनि गर्ने कि भनेर सोच बनाइरहेको छु सो I'll probably have more updates from Upardangari once I'm back in Nepal.
No, absolutely. I'd love to hear that and more. The एउटा कुरा that really stood out again is Upardangari waited for a Miss Nepal, right? It waited for Miss Nepal to come to that place, see what they're going through, and help them out. But that is not every place is Miss Nepal can reach, right? In Nepal or in the world. So what do you really think about it? I mean, there's only so much a Miss Nepal can do, right? There's only so much one person can touch lives, right? What do you think about that situation in those rural areas in Nepal that are still going through a lot in their life? No electricity, no hospitals, no food resources, no employment, but they're still surviving with hope. Is there anyone who can provide them hope? Or do they all have to wait for Miss Nepal every year?
Honestly भन्दाखेरि मिस नेपाललाई कुर्ने होइन सरकारलाई कुर्नुपर्ने काम हो कि यो तर सरकारले नगर्नु हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ उहाँहरूले नपुगेर होइन नबुझेर पनि होइन उहाँहरूले नथाहा पाएर पनि हुनसक्छ कि कहिलेकाहीँ पकेट भिलेजेसहरू हामीलाई पनि उपरदाङ्गरी छ भनेर त थाहा थिएन होइन तर सरकारहरूको भल्सहरूमा त यो ठाउँ छ यो गाउँ छ पानी पुगे छैन बत्ती पुगे छैन भनेर छ होला नि त सो वाट आई थिङ्क इज वी निड अ मोर कसरी भने I think we need a little more push in the ministry level more than the legislative levels as well किनकि हामीले कहिलेकाहीँ बसेर हेर्दाखेरि हामीले प्रधानमन्त्रीका पदको लागि होइन हामीले मन्त्रीहरूको पदको लागि हामीले प्रधानमन्त्रीको लागि राष्ट्रपतिको पदको लागि एकदमै सिरियसली हेरिरहेको हुन्छ होइन तर हामीले मन्त्रीहरूको पदमा को पर्नुहुन्छ भनेर एकदमै राम्ररी अनुसन्धान चाहिँ गरेका हुँदैनौँ कि तर मन्त्रीहरूको लेभलबाटै सानसानो लेभलबाटै कम्युनिटी बिल्ड हुने हो नि त खासमा अनि त्यसपछि देशको विकास हुने हो होइन त्यही भएर मन्त्रीहरूको लेभलमा इलेक्सनहरू हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अलिकति सतर्क फैलाएर हामी जनताले आफ्नैलाई हेऱ्यो भने अलिकति धेरै पकेट भिलेजेसहरू हाम्रो सहरमै कति काम गर्नु बाँकी छ कि सहरका कामहरू पनि राम्रो हुँदै जान्छ जस्तो लाग्यो अब हाम्रो मेयर यसपालिका कति राम्रो हुनुहुन्छ होइन ललितपुरका भनौँ काठमाडौँका भनौँ हाम्रो धरानका मेयर पनि राम्रो हुनुहुन्छ सबैजना कस्तो राम्रो हुनुहुन्छ सो कम्युनिटी बिल्ड हुँदै जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ देशको पनि विकास देखिन्छ कि सो एभ्री हाउस द्याट आइभ बिन टु इन टेक्सास they've always spoken about how Nepal has been doing so much better after new elections and new representatives have sat down on the chair. So you always have to work on the micro levels, then look at the microscope of the entire city or a country. होइन त्यही भएर मिनिस्ट्री लेभलहरूमा पनि हेर्दाखेरि म जनतालाई चाहिँ त्यही भन्छु you need to be a little more forward.
More forward. So that is a problem. I hope that there will be
प्रब्लम त होइन अब जो जहाँ हुनुहुन्छ उहाँहरूले आफ्नै हिसाबले आफ्नो काम त गरिरहनु भएको छ तर हामीले पनि आफ्नो हिसाबले आफ्नो काम गर्नु पर्यो होइन हाम्रो काम चाहिँ अब मन्त्रीहरू छानिँदा पनि अलिक हेर्नु पर्यो सतर्क फैलाउनु पर्यो को आउनुला छ को जानुला छ भनेर
हेर्नु पर्यो चासो राख्नु पर्यो and decision पनि त्यसरी लिनु पर्यो when you're voting or using your privilege right as a citizen of course.
Because I really believe that community levels really moves forward and makes up an entire decision for an entire country. Okay? Because देशलाई बनाउनु भन्दा एउटा कम्युनिटीलाई बनाउनु सजिलो हो नि त सो कम्युनिटीहरू बन्दै गयो भने त देश बन्दै जान्छ नि त सो यु हेभ टु बी भेरी केयरफुल अबाउट द्याट एस्पेक्ट जस्तो चाहिँ लाग्छ मलाई.
You're interested in Nepali politics, Priyanka?
Who isn't? हाम्रो भने सबभन्दा इन्ट्रेस्टिङ
It is, I think, right?
Politics जस्तो लाग्छ क्या मलाई चाहिँ. Yeah, but what's your question about?
No, I mean, like, what I really wanted to ask. Can we ever see Priyanka in mainstream politics? Because you want to be a change maker. You want to impact people. You want to influence, in a way, of course, to Nepal and beyond. And you are aware, as you were telling us, you need, ministry level the change, because you cannot neglect the fact that yes, it's the government, yes, there is the people in the government who can make a very drastic impact, right? For that particular reason, Priyanka, is there any interest, any way?
So म यहाँ यस्तो खुलासाहरू चाहिँ गर्नुला होइन.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm not going to say
we are
yes
not recording,
right now,
are we? No.
But I'm not even going to say no. But like you mentioned, a change maker.
Just the interest.
You have to be in a power of position as well. So someday maybe, but you have to also be educated enough. You also have to be well equipped, well resourced, and well thought out. So one day, if I come to a position where I feel like my thoughts can make a country better, or I can provide something or give something back to the community in that level, I will definitely take it up. I will not say no, but until then, I cannot even say yes.
As long as you're thinking, sort of.
Yeah, as long as I'm thinking, I am.
You are, yeah.
Yes. So के भयो भने खासमा मैले यो थाहा पाएको चाहिँ के हुँदाखेरि भन्दा प्रोजेक्ट गर्दैखेरि हो कि प्रोजेक्ट गर्दाखेरि मन्त्रालयले हस भन्यो होइन अब कामदारहरूले नाइ भन्यो भने कामै हुँदैन नि त होइन. So you have to always work in micro levels to make a whole system look better. That's what I realized.
Yeah, but
I could be wrong, but that's what
that was your experience, yeah. Right? That was your experience, of course. And एउटा कुरा चाहिँ like as we're talking about Miss Nepal and the impact that they can make, we can.
मलाई त कस्तो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ लाग्छ भने म लास्ट टाइम आउँदाखेरि सरी आई कट यु अफ मेरो सियाटलमा एउटा पडकास्ट थियो कि उहाँले पनि मलाई यसरी नै नेपाली पोलिटिक्सको बारेमा क्वेसन सोध्नुभएको थियो होइन. अनि सोध्नुभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ उहाँले मलाई क्वेसनहरू छ म सोधौँ कि नसोधौँ भनिरहेको थियो होइन. अनि मैले गो अहेड आस्क मी एनिथिङ यु वान्ट भन्यो. अनि डु यु वान्ट टु रिड द क्वेसन्स भनेर भन्यो. अनि मैले नो आइम गुड विथ एनिथिङ भन्यो. अनि उहाँले चाहिँ पोलिटिकल एस्पेक्टमा पनि क्वेसन छ गर्नुहुन्छ आन्सर भनेर भन्नुभयो. अनि हामी यहाँ बस्ने भनेकै खासमा पोलिटिकल लेभलमा आन्सर गर्ने त होइन तर पोलिटिक्सको बारेमा अवेरनेस त फैलाउनु पर्ने नै हुन्छ नि त. सो यु आस्क मी समथिङ अबाउट पोलिटिक्स एज वेल. वी हेभ स्पेन्ट अ गुड टाइम वेन यु ड्रोभ मी हियर टु द स्टुडियो एज वेल. आई डिड नट थिङ्क यु वुड आस्क मी अबाउट पोलिटिक्स तर इट्स नाइस टु नो द्याट पिपल लिभिङ अब्रड आर सो इन सिङ्क विथ वाट्स ह्यापनिङ इन नेपाल. उहाँ बस्नुभएको मान्छेहरूलाई थाहा छैन होला तर एभ्रिबडी लिभिङ हियर नेपाली डायस्पोरा दे आर सो इन सिङ्क विथ वाट्स ह्यापनिङ इन नेपाल. कस्तो चासो राख्नुहुन्छ. सो एभ्री कन्भर्सेसन आई हेभ हियर आई फिल सो नाइस कि जेन्युनली राम्रो लाग्छ. because it shows that you care.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, home away from home, but we love as much as we
No, it's
always
home
done.
anywhere you live. It's always a home.
Yeah, and it was also, in context, because being Miss Nepal, right, and you're already like impacting youth or representing youth in a bigger picture, right? I mean, you're representing the country itself,
am.
right? It's like, yeah, you are, right?
Okay.
You are.
If you say so.
You are, Priyanka, you are. And I think you are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Right, amazing job. एउटा कुरा चाहिँ, what I really wanted to ask you as well, like a lot of girls in Nepal want to be Miss Nepal. They have this vision, a dream of, even during your time as well, I think there were like 700 applicants or something.
1,000.
Yeah, plus 300. Yeah, 1,000 applicants and such. So that already shows like there's a huge traction among the youth, the young girls. They want to participate. There might be a teenager girl dreaming to be like Priyanka Rani Joshi when they see on the screen, wearing that red gown and just being so much happy, right? What is that about, Priyanka? What is that influence that Miss Nepal has among these people? Like, do they, like the teenagers, the girls growing up, do they want the crown, or are they concerned about the experience of Miss Nepal? What is it? What exactly it is? What exactly it was for you?
Yeah, so मैले चाहिँ personally नै answer गर्नु लाग्थेँ होइन, because I wouldn't know anybody else's notion about why they would want to come to Miss Nepal. तर to answer your question, मेरो लागि चाहिँ सानोमा हुँदाखेरि I used to, it was like a fantasy. अब मिस नेपाल हुन्छ, क्राउन भन्छ, सानैदेखि अब के हेर्ने भन्दाखेरि मिस नेपालको एउटा ग्ल्यामरस एस्पेक्ट हेर्ने हुन्छ है. अनि अलिकति ठुलो भएपछि चाहिँ देन यु रियलाइज यु हेभ टु टक, यु हेभ टु कम्पिट, यु हेभ टु बी केपेबल इनफ टु रिप्रेजेन्ट यर कन्ट्री एन्ड यु हेभ टु नो अबाउट थिङ्स होइन. त्यो अलिकति ठुलो भएपछि चाहिँ एजुकेटिभ हुन थाल्छ होइन. अनि मिस नेपालमा आएपछि चाहिँ इट बिकम्स मोर लाइक स्पोर्ट्सम्यानसिप. So it's about glamour, it's about knowledge, and it's about competition. It's about sports person for everybody who comes and enrolls into Miss Nepal. So my glamour ko aspect ma herदाखेरि चाहिँ मेरो first attraction or just your inclination towards Miss Nepal began because अब gown लाउनु पाउँछ, makeup गर्नु पाउँछ, crown पाइन्छ भनेर.
Popularity too.
Yeah. Popularity, yes, but these three factors are your first things that you think about. You don't think about, wow, I'm going to be famous. This is पनि हुँदैन के. So when you're thinking about these factors, that's when probably a 9-year-old or a 12-year-old gets excited about coming to Miss Nepal. त्यसपछि चाहिँ ठुलो हुँदै जाँदाखेरि अब मिस नेपालमा बोल्नु पनि पर्छ नि त, यसै ल्याएर क्राउन त लगाइदिनु हुन्न. मिस नेपालमा जाँदाखेरि देयर सो मेनी फास्ट ट्र्याक इभेन्ट्स, कम्पिटिसन हुन्छ होइन, ट्यालेन्ट राउन्डहरू गर्नुपर्छ. सो यु as soon as you start researching, you also start finding out factors that you need to make yourself capable enough. So you start honing your knowledge about things, about world affairs, about many people around you, about how you talk and treat people who are around you, and how you genuinely want to be nice to people and places, I know. अब मिस नेपालमा आएपछि चाहिँ यो नलेज र ग्ल्यामरको अट्र्याक्सन नोसनहरू बोक्दै आइपुग्यो होइन. तर मिस नेपालमा आएपछि चाहिँ यु रियलाइज द्याट एभ्रीबडी हेज अ ड्रिम एन्ड दे आर सो सिरियस अबाउट इट. नोबडी कम्स देयर टु प्ले अराउन्ड or joke around anymore. So when you come there, you know that everybody comes with as much capability and as much knowledge as you have, maybe even more than you do sometimes, you know. Sometimes when you're comparing yourself with somebody else, which is always a byproduct of a competition, you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like somebody knows better. But what you need to realize is you have to hold this capability of a perfect sports person. Even if you win, even if you do not, you have to make sure you've run the entire 100-meter race with all that you've got. So that's the thing about competition.
So winning is not the goal, or is it?
For me, it was. But comparing was not my goal. So by default, you start comparing, I know. As soon as you are able to keep your mind out of it, as soon as you're able to pull yourself out of the competitive scope and just focus on yourself, you're more inclined towards maybe doing better.
Yeah, I think doing better, of course.
Yeah,
does it
doing
help to do better too after Miss Nepal?
What?
Like, does do better as a person?
Does winning?
Yeah, does winning
help you do better as a person?
as a person, or be better as a person?
You know what?
Or Priyanka, or I'm going to cut you off right there
okay.
and ask you, what if Priyanka had never won Miss Nepal?
Okay, म एउटा कुरा honestly भन्छु है मिस नेपाल भएपछि चाहिँ रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटिज त जोइन हुन्छ
हुनु पर्यो
बट रेस्पोन्सिबिलिटी सँगसँगै पनि यु बिकम द टेबल टपिक कि मान्छेहरूले उठ्छ बस्छ खान्छ सबै हेर्छ नि त सो यु मोर रेस्पोन्सिबल इन हाउ यु अप्रोच टु पिपल सो यस इट डज पुश यु टु बिकम बेटर बट नट इन अ वे द्याट युआर फेक but in a way that you put your best foot forward everywhere you go कि कहिलेकाहीँ त हामी लेजी भएर भएर बस्छ नि त as a regular person you could maybe do that but as a Miss Nepal you certainly feel a kind of pressure to bhandiन but you feel a certain kind of responsibility where you put your best foot forward
yeah.
So when you put your best foot forward I feel like and I believe like it pushes you towards becoming a better person and also a better version of yourself.
So what if you were not a Miss Nepal?
If I was not a Miss Nepal,
you were telling me the other day that you'll have kids, get married.
What?
No, you did tell me that. I know you're kidding, I guess. It was backstage.
Excuse me.
It was backstage, Priyanka.
No.
You were lying to me so much that day anyway.
Yeah, I was
so
lying to you so much that has to be one of my biggest lies.
Yeah, the biggest lie. No,
It
Priyanka
has to
would
be.
not have got married or had kids.
No.
So what would Priyanka be without Miss Nepal 2022? Like, what would that be?
Oh my God.
How would you be like?
I do not even want to imagine that because I feel like the project I have done through Miss Nepal, I would have nobody regular would have taken out 2-3 years of their lives where they could be studying or pursuing something else in such small age and put it into a project that is beyond their capabilities. Because a lot of things that I've done in the project came with my title as a Miss Nepal as well. म NEA गएर बत्ती लगौँ भन्दाखेरि म मिस नेपाल भएर हेल्प गरेको थिएँ नि त म रेगुलर कोही केटी भएको भए चाहिँ मलाई त्यहाँ पुग्नुलाई 1 वर्ष अझै लाग्थ्यो होला कि I would probably do the project anyway but it would have taken me much more time. That's what I'm trying to say. So if I wasn't a Miss Nepal, I would probably be doing my master's, I'd probably be studying, I'd probably more self-involved. But Miss Nepal भएपछि चाहिँ I'm more interested and I'm more pushed towards development rather for development on a huge scale rather than just myself.
Because I watched some of your podcasts too. You do mention about maybe being a entrepreneur. Is that something that you really see yourself?
Miss Nepal सँगसँगै पनि गर्न सकेँ नि. I was still doing my work when I was the reigning Miss Nepal as well. So हाम्रो चाहिँ family businesses and I'm very interested in the business that we're already doing. We come from a family of jewelers, so मेरो master's, मेरो degree पनि त्यही हिसाबले लानु खोजिरहेको थिएँ. I wanted to study gemology, which is a degree in gems. You can certify what grades of diamonds you're looking at, what grades of diamonds you're dealing with. So I've always wanted to take that forward. I would probably be doing that.
The gemology भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ where I was not familiar with the word itself.
Did you hear germology or something?
I heard like gemology.
So what does that mean?
I didn't really know. So
Okay.
I saw that in your video. I think it was the day. I think it was during your parade, I guess. Like, you had a parade in Miss Nepal and there were like people interviewing you. Right, yeah. How was the parade itself? I mean...
It wasn't a parade. It was my homecoming.
It was your homecoming? Okay.
Yeah.
It was sort of a parade. I think there were a lot of people too.
Okay, if you call it a parade,
We
we'll
waving
call it
at the
a
crowd.
parade.
It's like, yeah, I won Miss Nepal, guys. Is that the feeling?
My parents were the sweetest parents, so my victory was more theirs than mine. It had been my dream for the longest time, but my mother had actively pursued into making that happen. जुन पनि Miss Nepal हुन्थ्यो after 2016, after I decided genuinely that I wanted to participate someday, she made sure that I watched each competition from the venue that had happened. And मैले मामु टिभीबाटै हेर्दा राम्ररी देख्छ नि टिभीबाटै हेरौँ न भन्दाखेरि she used to always say, but it's not the questions that you're actually watching the show for. It's actually the vibe that you need to be in sync with. You need to know how it feels when you put on that stage. You need to maybe see how it feels or get a feel or a hang of it before you actually get onto the stage. And every time she took me there, I think it built my confidence even more to actually be there on Miss Nepal 2022 stage.
So you do talk about how much of influence your mom has on you. I think
my mother has all the influence.
Is she the biggest inspiration for you?
She is. She actually is the biggest and the best.
The best. Priyanka, you grew up Darjeeling Ma.
दार्जिलिङमा हुर्केको त भन्दिनँ तर म दार्जिलिङमा स्कुल जान्थेँ सो टेक्निकली आई हेभ टु से द्याट छुट्टीको लागि मात्रै घर आउँथेँ कि सो आई वाज देयर इन आई युज टु स्टडी इन दार्जिलिङ फ्रम 4 to 10 सो के भन्ने अब हुर्केको त
दार्जिलिङमै हो
दार्जिलिङमै
होइन अनि त्यहाँपछि काठमाडौँ यु मुभ टु काठमाडौँ पछि
देन आई मुभ टु काठमाडौँ
Okay, and did you do your like +2 and all high school in Kathmandu?
Yeah, high school अनि मेरो bachelor's काठमाडौँबाट गरेँ
Okay, because so I'm from Jhapa, right? So Darjeeling, I do have some relatives in Kalimpong, and I love Darjeeling's place itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Have you been to Kalimpong?
I have. Kalimpong, Darjeeling. मेरो स्कुल चाहिँ खरसाङमा थियो. Yeah. So I have.
So you have grown you have seen the Nepali in Darjeeling too.
I have.
How is the emotion there in Darjeeling? With Nepali people, of course.
So Darjeeling भनेको चाहिँ when you describe it, it's a hilltop. And it's a very well-knitted community. It's not very big, but they're very proper. They're very disciplined. They're very charming. They know what they're doing. They know what they hold. They know the specialties of their places. And they really enjoy tourists who come around. हाम्रो दार्जिलिङ खरसाङहरूको मेन एस्पेक्ट भनेकै एजुकेसन हो कि दे थ्राइभ अन मेकिङ any student, any young adult a better citizen for their country, no matter where they belong from. They have one of the greatest institutions for education all around the world. खासमा ब्रिटिशर्सहरूले डेभलप गरेर छोड्नु भएको एउटा संस्था हो कि एजुकेसनको लागि दार्जिलिङमा. So that's their main hub. But when I think about Darjeeling, when I think about their people, yes, they're very warm and very welcoming.
How has Darjeeling affected you?
Impacted
or effective?
They've not affected me anyway, but impact भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think a lot of my discipline comes from the convent that I went to. So convent मा त्यही त हुन्छ नि, you have to rise up on the dot, you have to be very particular, and also it was a boarding school, so you have to be able to take care of yourself because nobody else will if you're not looking after yourself, right? And also you become independent at a very young age where you're self-sustained, where you know the importance of your family because family भएको भए मेरो लाइफै छुट्टै हुन्थ्यो होला नि त. तर फ्यामिली बिना पनि मैले आफूलाई कसरी अगाडि बढेर आफ्नो सपनाको लागि कामहरू पुर्याउन सक्छु त्यो सबै स्कोपहरू मैले डिस्कभर गर्दै हिँडेँ नि त. सो डिस्कभरीमा चाहिँ सेल्फ डिस्कभरीमा चाहिँ आई थिङ्क इट हेज influenced my life.
So Batsa Mother, like how were you? Were you as intellectual as you are, as compassionate and as like willing to dream and achieve big? Were you always that?
Wow, you think I'm compassionate and intellectual? Those are very, very big adjectives to describe anybody.
You're thinking,
so thank you.
You're welcome, Priyanka. Yeah, thank you.
So Batsa हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ म एकदमै छुच्ची थिएँ रे के.
I'm not surprised.
What?
No, just
Did
kidding.
you just call me compassionate?
Just kidding, Priyanka. Just kidding. Yeah.
Okay. So छुच्ची थिएँ रे क्या. अब छुच्ची किन थिएँ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब आई थिङ्क इट्स प्लेनली बिकज आई वेन्ट टु अ कन्भेन्ट अनि कन्भेन्ट गएपछि यु हेभ टु बी अन अ लुक आउट फर यर सेल्फ होइन. त्यही भएर चाहिँ अलिअलि छुच्ची थिएँ अरे. तर अल्सो बिकज आई वेन्ट टु कन्भेन्ट एन्ड वान्स आई स्टार्टेड मेकिङ अ लट अफ फ्रेन्ड्स त्यो छुच्चीनेस चाहिँ कम्प्यासनेटमा टर्न ओभर हुँदै गयो कि. सो द्याट्स टर्न्ड आउट फर द बेस्ट एज आई ग्रू अप.
I think I can see that too. I mean, especially on the world stage. So Miss Nepal and then Miss World. Was it in India, Asti?
It was in India.
A year back, right? 2024, right?
Yeah,
March, right? Yeah, March. I think I saw your a video of you where you're like, I think it was probably you introducing yourself. And when you said, I'm Priyanka Rani Joshi, I'm Nepal or something, and your hand was up in the, you're wearing the Gunyu cholo. Okay?
I know what you're talking about.
You know, right? Yeah.
Like calling yourself by your country's name. I've never felt more pride. I've never felt more love for the country that I come from, and I've never felt more responsible for everybody who belongs to us and who is ours. Just to say that I come from Nepal has to be one of the proudest moments in my life.
I could see that, Priyanka. I was like, yeah, look at how proud she is.
Practiceहरू गर्दाखेरि पनि it does not hit you, but once the mic is in front of you and once you've got to introduce yourself. I don't remember saying I'm Priyanka once.
I think it was I'm Nepal or something. Yeah.
I said I'm Nepal.
You're saying I'm Nepal, yeah.
That was my introduction. And who gets to say that? Miss Nepal gets to say that. And that has to be one of the biggest giveaway or takeaway of being a Miss Nepal, because you become your country. You become one with your country.
I could see that. You're happy, you're smiling, you're dreaming, you're hoping, the pride of
Yeah.
Mount Everest and the peace within too. You know? I think you're representing peace, right? The video mapan, you talk about peace. I'm lost within to find myself. I think that was your. You probably might have said somewhere in the video too.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're representing peace. You know, that
I was.
we come from the land of Buddha, right? How is peace so important to you, especially when choosing the theme itself for the video representing the country in that big stage when everybody is literally watching? What is this video about? What is he displaying or trying to portray about Nepal in that video?
Isn't peace the most important aspect for any individual living?
It is.
It is. It's not just for the humans, it's even for the animals, it's even for the floras and faunas around the world. So के भयो थियो भन्दाखेरि अब एउटा थीम त लानु पर्यो हैन, तर नेपालबाट आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ ग्लोबल आउटरिचको लागि के कुरा भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ हामी नेपाललाई अलिकति हेर्नुहुन्छ भनेर हेर्दाखेरि what is the one factor that people thrive on? That's peace. If you're peaceful from inside, then nothing that happens externally really shakes you up. So अहिले संसारमा 10 थरीको कुरा भइरहेछ. So we're having wars, isn't it?
We are.
Children are dying. Sadly, there's been so many turmoils all around the world. There are natural disasters. People are fighting. And the only message I wanted to take on to a world stage where people globally can watch us is peace. Let's promote peace. Let's talk about peace. Let's be peaceful, because it's not just external factors, but even for people who are living alone, people who are living in communities, sometimes they come back home and there's so many risen number of depression as well when you were talking about people and their approaches all around the world. So depression level or हाम्रो कोभिडमा कति बढे थियो नि त. So त्यो हेरेर पनि अब external factors ले मात्रै हैन, internally पनि people need a lot of peace.
A lot of peace, of course.
Right? So it's not something that you give to a person, but it's something that when you're talking about, people can sometimes look back and think, maybe I can go about it with a certain different hopeful approach. That's why peace and hope were two of my main themes when we went to Miss World.
And just like combining peace and hope together.
Yes.
Especially all the war is happening. War is happening. Children are dying now as we are filming the podcast. Children are dying, right? And we're going through that rough time of the world. People are dying in the war, hunger, poverty. There's issues with racism, and peace has somewhat become a compromise, right? Which is so unfortunate for itself. Like, peace should not be a compromise. Isn't that the obvious thing? Yes, we want to live peacefully. We just want to survive. But and it is so heartbreaking. And
peace bhane compromise bhanda pani it's a factor where like aba peace ko lai yo gardim न त भने. It shouldn't be left out like that.
Exactly.
Everything should be run on to peace. Yeah, actually.
Yep.
पैसा कमाउने पनि अब प्रशस्त होस्, मान्छे ढुक्क होस्, पिसफुल होस् भनेर त हो नि हैन. तर पिस भनेको त it should not be something that you want to pursue. Peace should be something that's inside you.
Yeah.
So, but it's a very thin line when you're talking about peace, because people have their own fights, people go through their own turmoils, and they have their own stories and narratives. So you and me talking here and talking about peace would be a rather difficult approach for people watching us as well, because you don't know what state of mind they're in. It's very difficult to be peaceful at times.
Exactly.
Right? So when you and I can be talking about it, we're also talking about if you're not feeling good, you can come and completely approach us with it. Right? So it's about sending out compassion. It's about being there for people around you. And it's only a wake-up call for people, whoever is watching us, to look around and look at the people they're sitting with, because people have become so busy in the digital world that we live that we forget to look around people that we actually live with, right? So just put your heads up for a second and look at people who are around you, because even a conversation might sometimes be peaceful.
Peaceful, yeah. Munza, of course, like right now too, as we are talking about peace, peace is itself such a beautiful thing. Peace and happiness. Peace is what enlightens me as well. When I'm in peace, I'm the best in me. I feel the best in me. I feel better being alive. I think the whole gist, what I really feel, Priyanka, is I think as long as we start treating each other as human being and see them as a human being, just like you know, like you and me, I'm a human, you are a human too. We're all living together. You know, as long as we do that, that can ignite the feeling of peace in all of us.
Right.
Just being able to see someone as human too, not inferior, not superior, but just exactly where you are. Don't you
Yes.
think that?
Yes.
And especially when you are on the global stage, right? You are from Nepal, you're representing the peace and hope, and then there's all the participants, the Miss World participants. Everybody has their own story about their country, story about their origin. What is that experience being in that group of diverse culture, diverse aspirations, diverse belief, and diverse feeling of coming together in unity? What is that feeling of being a global citizen in that big diaspora of people coming from the world, Priyanka?
That is the beauty of any pageant. When you're talking about pageant, people really look at the superficial stuff. They think about girls who are able to just like talk about country a little bit and maybe promote beauty standards a little bit more than that. But when you go into a pageant and it's a first-hand experience from an individual like me, a young 24, 25-year-old who goes on to a global stage, probably not being in the full grasp of what each knowledge that has gathered in their brains. When you go on to a world stage, a lot many opportunities and a lot of many doors and a lot of many portals open up for you. When you're sitting at a table with so many different people, I do not think people experience that much of diversity more anywhere else than in a pageant, because wherever they belong from, the girls are native of their countries,
They are.
right? They know exactly what happens around their country. They belong to their country. So even when you live in America, I told you backstage as well, when you're living in America, sometimes you're in such a well-knitted community of your own Nepalese diaspora that you sometimes do not walk out from your own culture or your own people. But when you're at a global stage like Miss World, you're pushed towards becoming a global citizen, and you hear about people talk about their countries, you hear about their messages, but at the end of the day, you also realize that no matter where you come from, no matter where you belong, the end goal of each individual is to always be true to themselves, their roots, and just promote peace, just to be happy with themselves, right? So you don't see or think of yourself too far away from people, if even if they're belonging to Venezuela or Mexico or European countries. No matter where they come from, the end goal of every individual is to be just a better person and just to represent their countries at
The
the
best.
biggest and the best form. So all that you go to see when you're representing your country at a global stage is that everybody has a very empathetic heart, but it only takes one step ahead to bring a global message around the world. So when you're well knitted by communities such as Miss World, that gives you more power, because if I want to do something globally, I have one sister in every
Every
country.
country.
And that voice can be amplified to a level which can bring about global revolutions.
Exactly. I think it's
That's the power of passion. And I don't think people see it like that anymore.
I don't think they do. Yeah, I don't think
And
they
I
do.
don't think people have also taken it forward like that. But if I have an idea where I want to surge a global revolution, I have a group chat where I have 140 girls from 140 countries where I can just be like, hey, I need help on this. Can you please post it? And of course, they have an outreach that is bigger than anybody in their own countries. If they post something, a lot of people from their countries are going to know about it.
Of
So
course.
that is the power of passions.
It just makes the world too smaller too, I think, right? It just brings everything together.
No, I think it makes the world bigger.
It does make it bigger.
Your reach is so much bigger, your thoughts are so much bigger, and your knowledge about the world is so much better. So
In
it
terms of
opens,
connection too.
of course, firstly in terms of networking, secondly in terms of outreach. your voice is amplified into 140 countries.
Countries,
The
yeah.
outreach is
It's massive,
crazy if
yeah.
you know how to magnify the power of what you're saying. But of course, you have to say good things. You can't just randomly
No,
think of
yeah.
something and ask everybody to share it because they're going to look back and think, "Hey, Nepal, no."
I think it's a
But
sense of responsibility that comes with it as
yes,
well.
but yes, the outreach is crazy if you can maybe track it in a better way.
How do you plan on capitalizing that, like in future?
It needs to be a well researched one. So I don't have an answer for you right away, but once I do, there needs to be a global. There's so many searches going around the world, so it needs to be a well researched global plan to have that leveraged into the power of our pageant. So I might have an answer for you in next 4 to 5 years, but I don't have the reach now.
But you do want to participate more, interact more, and be there, and try to explore what the global connection can really bring to the world. No,
Of course, doesn't everybody?
one thing, Priyanka. So you went to a pageant, right? And you get to experience all this, right? But not everybody gets to experience all this. Is there a way we can foster that among those people as well? Like, is there a way that we can connect the world? I mean, I know there's the internet and everything as well, but can non-Miss Nepal, right, or non-Miss World be able to participate in the similar process without having to be a Miss Nepal?
Well, I think so. Because I believe a lot of outreach has been beyond a capacity and scope of a Miss Nepal as well. There have been so many incidences where we have the head of the UN, the youth chair of the UN, a Nepalese, non-Miss Nepal, right? You need to pursue your professional aspects in a certain way where your interest and your professions and your passion comes together. You just probably need to do that. So beyond Miss Nepal, there are probably scopes where you can connect yourself on a worldly manner as well. You've got NGOs, INGOs, you've also got other universities that you can connect with. That is exactly why people look forward to seeking an international education as well, so that they have outreach, so that they have programs and a better, broader vision and an outreach of things that they can think about, so that they have people they can connect with, network with, right? So Miss Nepal is one of the bigger platforms, is what I'd like to say. But yes, if you want to, then you can bring a passion and a purpose together and make it professionally pushed forward too.
I think I can see that happening too, especially with the age of internet. I think when the sharing of information
Yes.
is so easy, like people are able to listen to you and me right now, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are getting the idea about what exactly it takes to be Miss Nepal and also represent a country and be in that big space where people are like 120 different countries are coming together and sharing
Right.
that ideas. So that itself is very influential as well. As we talk about Miss Nepal, because for me, I came to know you as Miss Nepal Priyanka, right? Who
Do you
is
want to ask something fun?
I want to ask something fun. Yeah,
Okay.
right. So, Miss Nepal, right? Miss Nepal. But who is Priyanka? Like, who is Priyanka?
Okay, that's not fun.
No, tell me, Priyanka. Who is Priyanka? I want to know who is Priyanka. Like, if we keep the Miss Nepal aside, like, who is Priyanka?
Okay, honestly, this is a question you've been budging me
I
with
have
since
been
the backstage.
since the backstage. Yes.
मलाई
But you
भेट्दै
told me
बित्तिकै
there's a
who
better
is Miss
place.
Nepal कि who is Miss Nepal भन्छ भने, but okay, I'll give this a good thought, because I think if I keep Miss Nepal, if I keep all the professional things that I've done and the education aside, I think I am this 8-year-old who has a jest for life, who just wants to have fun, who just wants to soak in everything she sees, who wants to travel the world, enjoy each ride she gets to get on every day with all the power and happiness that she has. I think Priyanka is somebody who really cares about a family, who really, really cares about people who are well connected with her and who love her, who loves her. And I think Priyanka is also somebody that is ambitious, who has dreams, but who is not so aggressive about them that she would let go of other aspects such as family and friends to make that happen. So I think she is somebody who is a 8-year-old who wants to learn, who wants to live, and who wants to laugh. I think she's Priyanka.
That's a lot to be a Priyanka.
Yeah, it takes a lot to be Priyanka because that's not it.
That's not it. No, that's
Yeah.
not. I think that's just the beginning. I would definitely want to see like, uh, see see you in like your 70s.
What?
70s, probably doing some pilgrimage or something. Is that the plan, Priyanka?
I don't know. I could either be doing like running on pilgrimage, or I would be 70 and doing a plank.
Oh yeah, yeah, that'd be
I
good.
could be doing anything.
Have you ever thought about it, like being in 70s?
No, I don't want to think about it right now. I'm good being a 25-year-old.
You're the youngest Miss Nepal, are you?
I'm not. Right now?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. I must have misheard. Are you at least one of the youngest, I think?
One of the youngest.
You're one of the youngest.
Yes. Off the lot.
Of the lot.
Yes.
Of the lot. You do say that it's just a bud, the Miss Nepal itself, or anything.
Bud?
Yeah, like a flower, like a budding flower, a blooming flower. Because I think I do believe Sanjay was telling you like, okay,
This is from this other podcast.
Sanjay was telling you, okay, I think to the extent that you have accomplished everything, but Priyanka, you were like, that's why I came to know you are such intellectual person. Actually, it's like, no, I'm just bird, I'm just blooming. There's bigger things for me to do. What are the bigger things Priyanka wants to do in her life, Priyanka? You were not Miss World, right?
Wait, I think I missed out on your question.
Wait, let me come to that again. You were not Miss World. You did participate in the Miss World, Priyanka. Did you ever like? Was that a moment where you're like, oh my God, I'm not Miss World? Like, did that ever struck your mind?
When I did not win?
When you did not win?
Of course. That was one of the major heartbreaks of my life, and I've not been heartbroken, so I didn't know how to take it on well. That was a major heartbreak in my life when I didn't win Miss World. So of course, अब मैले अघिदेखि sportsmanship को कुरा गरिरहेको छु, competition को कुरा गरिरहेको छु. It's not certain that you will win. It's not destined that you're going to win everything that you will want to accomplish in life, right? But with me, what I thought was sometimes when you're in a competition, you feel like you give so much into it. I'd given 2-3 years of my life. So I thought we would at least make it to top 12, top 6. But when that didn't happen, I couldn't register.
Were you like top 40 or something?
Yeah, 40 and BWAP.
Okay.
So we had that, right? But when that didn't happen, that was one of the major setbacks in my life for me at that point, because I did not know how to take it on well. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd be a little more gracious, but it was very heartbreaking for me because there were certain things that I thought would have happened, would have panned out after certain things would have gone right. But sometimes it does not. And what I'd only want to say is I'm just glad I had people around me to take care of me when I felt the lowest. I did not want to work as soon as I came back because I was.
Was your
working.
mom with you in the Miss World? Was she there?
My entire family.
Your entire
was
family,
with me.
yeah.
My entire family was with me. So, what I was going to get at is when you lose competitions, you find a bigger purpose within yourself. Because if I'd won Miss World, I think that would be the end of a certain chapter for me. But after losing Miss World, I think the experience that I get from Miss World comes down to ground zero, and I start out fresh as a newer individual with an identity that has not been given to me from a certain organization or from a certain competition.
That's a challenge too, I think.
So that has become a bigger challenge. So what do I identify as? Because for the longest time, I was identified as a Miss Nepal. So that is also gone because I have other Miss Nepal to represent our country now. So I was looking forward to Miss World. So that does not come about. So now it's even more challenging because I have to create my own identity. So the name that comes with Miss Nepal has to go forward and build a bigger name for herself. Not bigger in aspect, like bigger than Miss Nepal, but for me, it has to justify my being and my purpose. So that challenge, once I got to sit down and think that this challenge is going to be even better and bigger in life.
You were ready to take the challenge too, probably.
That is when I got around to being myself again. That is when I got around to accepting the challenge, and that is when I got around to not being lazy.
Not being lazy.
Yeah.
I think maybe trying out things and maybe ready to face bigger challenges in life too. What's the next chapter, Priyanka? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna study. I'm going to look after myself for at least 2-3 years. I'm going to be by myself. I'm looking forward to studying in the US. Let's see how that plans out. But I'm going to study. I'm going to garner more knowledge about the world and things that I want to know.
This what is a life after Miss Nepal with other the Miss Nepal friends that you might be in a group chat with, probably chatting right now, guys. I'm talking about Miss Nepal. Should I take your name too?
You want to privy into our worlds? Are you sure?
I mean, a little bit. No, I'm not sure. I'm concerned.
It's really nice.
I
So
think it's
we
nice.
have a very perfect community of Miss Nepals, and we
You never fight.
Uh, no.
No, I'm just asking.
Who do you think we are?
I don't know, Priyanka. You tell me. You tell me what's the group of Miss Nepal like?
I'd say we're very compassionate. We look out for each other, and there's a very huge sense of sisterhood between us. Regardless of what life throws at us, I'm just glad the community that Miss Nepal Worlds have built for ourselves is something that holds a huge level of love, respect, and adoration for each other. We're not sisters by blood, but we're well connected by the experiences that we've gone through. Nobody understands our journey better than us because we've been through a similar journey in our own sense and our own form.
Is there empathy in
So-
any way? Like,
So there's a lot of empathy between us. So we know the journey, the hurdles, the obstacles, the goods, the bads, the great sides of being a Miss Nepal, the downfalls of being one. So we share a lot of experience between us. So we're just glad because we have this community, we have strength, we have purpose, and we become resilient.
you know what I've noticed, Priyanka? The reason why I asked about Miss Nepal's
What did you notice?
my observation about people, I think. So a lot of Miss Nepal, right, in the past, they're crowned as Miss Nepal. They participate in the world. They do their best, of course. But then when the reign is over, right, they are involved in medias in a way or other. They're either acting or modeling and such, right? I don't really, at least not me, right? You correct me. I have not noticed them participating in any significant change-making process. At least I don't know, or I'm not aware about, right?
Meaning politics?
It can be anything. It doesn't have to be politics, but being involved in a significant change-making process, right? Maybe working on certain projects like you did with the Beauty with the Purpose thing. I don't really see the continuity of those similar projects,
okay,
you know, as the reign is over, right? I don't see it every time. Is it going to be the same for Priyanka?
So I will take on the first half of your question. It's not that they do not do any projects. It's because the limelight gets shifted to a newer Miss
But they
Nepal,
do.
that the projects that they do is a little behind the curtains than in front of the ones that I did. That like I did. So my Beauty with a Purpose was all over the place because I had to even publicize it a little bit for Miss World, and people really anticipate your participation and they really want to know the projects that you've done. But Miss Nepals do their bits, they do the project. It's not for Beauty with a Purpose, but it's for their own personal purpose. They don't discontinue it.
But they do participate in that,
They
in the
do.
community
They
efforts,
do,
right?
they do.
Socioeconomic.
Even every year we have a community called Former Miss Nepal Club. We do something or the other to provide for currently we're providing for COVID relief students. So people who've lost parents during COVID, we're providing for those students for their education, for their livelihoods. So we're having that charity program again. So that is one thing we're doing. And even personally, we're doing other approaches of projects as well. So people like Miss
So it's
Nepal
just the not absence of limelight.
do not just hide away from doing projects. They do the projects, but they just hide away from publicizing it.
But they do.
They do.
It's good to know, actually, because the thing is, if there's no limelight, right, there's no way that we'll be able to see it unless we search it on our own. Like,
Yes,
what is
yes.
Priyanka doing? What is like previous Miss Nepal has been doing in their life? I think we did talk a little bit backstage about your Hiramandi thing when you're wearing that.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah, the Sanjay Leela Bansari thing. Tell me, did you meet Sanjay Leela Bansari? You
No,
did.
no, no. I unfortunately did not see Sanjay sir, but हाम्रो चाहिँ के भयो थियो भने हामी fast track winners 14 जनालाई चाहिँ अब we'd already won our specific fast tracks, right? So they probably had a tie with Hiramandi promotion. They brought us on the stage with the cast of Hiramandi, the 6 of them, and we had an entire fashion show with them. It was such an amazing set. They actually used up our stage, the finale stage, but as soon as the production came over, the stage looked completely different. It was at a such grand scale. It was at a level that I've never seen before. The production, the quality, the atmosphere, it was something beyond words. It was amazing.
Yeah, I think that's what Sanjay Leela Bansal does in his movies too. And
It was magical.
I think it was magical.
It
yeah.
was.
I've heard people talk a lot about it.
I was just a part of it for probably 20 to 30 minutes, but I could get a gist of the power that he holds and the vision that he has for even something as little as a fashion show, which would go out for a promotional video. Right? So I can only imagine how he shot the entire
thing as director, yeah. And he has done other movies as well. I mean, the way, guys, when Priyanka was describing me about being part of Hiramandi, I'll tell you that. She was talking about, you remember it, right, Priyanka? Do you remember our conversation about Hiramandi and what
do not.
You did
what
not.
Did I
I'll
say?
remind you too. So Priyanka was telling me she is part. She has a small role or cameo in Hiramandi. She told me that, right? And I'm meeting Priyanka for the first time, okay? So I believe her. And then, she's like, I have a little cameo there. Yeah, I was able to be there alongside Manisha Koirala and such. And I was like, I got so excited. I'm like, I have not watched Hiramandi, but now I'm going to watch it. And slowly as the conversation progresses, she tells me that she has been lying me on my face the whole time.
Yeah, the entire time we spoke about Hiramandi and I told him, oh my God, I got to be a part of it. I have a little cameo. There's a part where there's this revolution happening and I just run away.
I was excited.
Something
I was so excited.
I just dash onto somebody and I look at the person and I run away again because I'm coming in season 2. I built this whole thing up only to break it down at the last minute for Mousham, and he's so sweet. He was like literally looking forward to watching it then and there. He was like, should I watch it now? And I got so nervous because my cover would be blown off if you watch it.
Exactly. No,
I told him no.
I know. I got super excited. I was like, oh my God, Priyanka is there too. I am definitely, I've not really right? And now I'm like, I'm definitely going to go after the show. I'm going to watch a part of it at least to the point where Priyanka is there.
Yeah.
Now, imagine Priyanka never told me that. Imagine she telling me it was not a lie. And imagine me going back home, right, on my way when I reach my home. And then starts, and I'm asking people to, Priyanka Imagine that. Oh my God.
Oh, I shouldn't have told him.
No, you should not have. You should. Yeah, and like when I'm in like 50s or 60s and doing a podcast, and then that's when Priyanka reveals Mousham. I was like, what?
That would have been so funny.
Oh my God. No, that was incredible. Are you a good actor, Priyanka?
You watch the ad, what would you say?
You want me to be honest?
Yes, I want you to.
Can I drink a coffee before
honest.
I become honest?
Okay. You can take your time.
I think you're a bad actor.
Really?
Yeah.
You think I'm a bad actor?
Do you think you're a good actor, Priyanka?
I think I'm a very good actor. Like, I lied to you on your face and you did not even know.
Yeah, you are a good. You know
that
what?
goes out to see I'm an amazing actor.
I think you probably are too.
I am. So what happened with
to
the
some
ad
extent.
was there needs to be a certain conviction, and that probably didn't come through because I didn't believe in what I was saying. But I'm actually an absolutely fantastic actor.
You love it, at least, I think.
I'd have fun.
Do you want to be an actress?
I haven't thought about it. I just want to be me for now. For a certain time, since I was Miss Nepal for the longest time, since I was a probable candidate for Miss World for the longest time, I haven't been myself for the past 3-4 years.
Do you become the crown? Is that what Miss Nepal does? The crown is. Do you become the crown? Like, is that?
What do you mean? Do you become
it's
the
like,
crown?
Is
no,
it,
I don't
is it,
become
no,
the crown.
Is
I'm
it like
still
you?
a
No,
human.
the thing is it like suddenly you have the crown and now you have the personality of the crown?
No, that does not happen. So the personality that blends across from yourself to the crown is how you blend in with the personality. So if you try to imbibe a personality of a crown, it's an object. It does not have a personality, so you'll get lost along the way. But if you want to imbibe the crown, you have to blend it into your own personality.
So if I put the crown here, I'm still the same.
You're still the same. There's just responsibilities, like I said before, but if you आफ्नै पर्सनालिटी डगमगायो भने त अब किन जितेको त कसरी जित्यो त तिमी आफू भएर त जितेको नि हैन
त्यस्तो हुन्छ होला प्रियङ्का
क्राउनले तिमीलाई जिताएको त होइन नि त तिमीले क्राउन जित्या हो नि त त्यही भएर तिम्रो आफ्नै पर्सनालिटी चाहिँ क्राउनलाई गिफ्ट ब्याक गर्न सक्नुपर्छ कि
I think it must be difficult to find that balance too. It's like, do I
It's
be the
very
crown?
difficult. It's very difficult because हामीभन्दा अगाडि अब 25 जना मिस नेपाल भइसक्यो होइन 25 जनाको आफ्नो आफ्नै पर्सनालिटी हुन्छ अनि हामी नयाँ नयाँ आउँदाखेरि त आफूलाई जो मिस नेपाल मनपर्छ उहाँकै पर्सनालिटी अलिकति इम्बाइब गर्नु खोजिन्छ नि त तर त्यसरी हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ आफ्नो पर्सनालिटी हराउँदै जाँदो रहेछ अनि जे युएसपीले तपाईँले जित्नु भएको त्यो युएसपी नै हरायो भने त युर नथिङ यु लेफ्ट टु एक्चुली नेक्स्ट टु नथिङ होइन सो यु हेभ टु बी एबल टु इम्बाइब your own qualities. You need to know what works for you. You need to know how you talk. You need to know how you sit so that the crown and the people who've won before you do not dictate the way that you speak and carry your journey through the entire reign that you have.
I think that's true. That's true. But I'm pretty sure there's a conflict of it. Like I said, do I be the crown, or do I just get to be me completely without paying attention to what crown I'm wearing? Finding a right balance between that and at least keeping yourself alive, the personality alive. That's a bigger challenge for.
Yeah, it takes a while, but people come around. Yeah,
I think you had to go through that too, for sure.
I definitely had to go through it. Did I share that with you?
No, you did not.
I did not. Did you pick it up from one of my interviews?
I'm not sure.
I'm sure you did.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure you did. So what happened was, like I said before, what?
Yeah, probably. I think it was something about crown that I might have heard in Osmi, I think it was. Was it Osmi?
Probably.
She was Miss Nepal too, right? No?
She is.
She is Miss
2016.
Nepal. 16,
Miss
yeah.
Nepal
yeah,
2016. Yeah. So, के हुन्छ भने जित्छ होइन अनि जित्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब म जित्ने भनेर कम्पिटिसनमा लागिरहेको हुन्छ तर जितिहालेपछि चाहिँ के गर्ने भनेर थाहा हुँदैन नि त बिकज सडनली यु हेभ सो मच अफ ट्र्याक्सन पिपल आर लुकिङ एट यु दे आर वाचिङ यु यु हेभ टु स्पिक यर माइन्ड यु हेभ टु नो वाट युर सेङ सो कन्फिडेन्स लेभल अलिकति लो हुन्छ होइन बिकज when you're not prepared for the journey after the crown, that's when you lose a lot of yourself because there are a lot of noises around you. You go around seeking validation from people and places that sometimes don't have the best of your interest or sometimes have a lot to say that the things that you want to say gets hidden behind and the people who are saying things to you come across through your mouth. You know, you get what I'm saying? So, त्यस्तो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ कन्फ्युजन धेरै क्रिएट हुँदो रहेछ कि अनि मेरो बेलामा पनि के भयो थियो भन्दाखेरि अब जित्नु त जितिहाल्यो तर मैले पनि जितेपछि कसरी लाने कसरी बोल्ने के भन्ने भनेर एकदमै माइन्ड ऱ्याप गरिसकेको थिएन किनकि अब इट टेक्स यु वाइल अब ब्युटी विथ अ पर्पजको प्रोजेक्टहरूको पनि कुरा आउँछ होइन आफूले आफ्नो प्रोजेक्ट बिल्ड गरिरहेको हुन्छ नि त इट्स नट अन्टिल अ मन्थ द्याट यु हेभ अ कङ्क्रिट प्रोजेक्ट प्लान्ड आउट मान्छेहरू पनि जोडिसकेको हुँदैन नि त सो पिपल कम अराउन्ड आस्किङ फर अ लट अफ थिङ्स एन्ड इट स्टार्ट्स गेटिङ भेरी नोइजी अलोङ द वे कि इफ यु डोन्ट ह्याभ एन एन्टायर जर्नी प्लान्ड आउट फर यर सेल्फ सो त्यो हुँदाखेरि चाहिँ अब जसले जे भन्यो त्यो कुरामा डल्ने डकमकाउने इट बिकम्स comparatively and relatively a darker space for you. So it becomes a little difficult. But I'm so glad I had probably like around 2 years to come back around because I remember एक महिना पछि नै हाम्रो मिस नेपाल नर्थ अमेरिका भएको थियो कि मेरो क्राउनिङ पछि अनि मेरो भिजा सिजा सबै थियो नि त त्यही भएर we were supposed to travel here to the US. युएसमा आएपछि चाहिँ I was here with one of my directors and I got few time for myself. I got to sit down with myself and I got to reflect on what I was actually doing. And I just thought like, this is not me. I need to buckle up. I need to get back to being myself. I need to reason things out in my own head and know what I'm going to talk about because if people don't sense the qualities that I want Miss Nepal with now, then I'm going to lose the credibility that I have as a Miss Nepal forever because the reigning time is all you've got. So I got to sit back around, look at myself, look at my actions, look at my thoughts. Then I went back being a better version of myself.
Is there any insecurities that Priyanka has? I know you're so confident. I told about compassionate and everything, right? But are there any insecurities that Priyanka has?
Everybody is insecure.
Yeah.
Somewhere or another, everybody has insecurities. It's just how well you conceal it, Mousham. Sometimes it's about concealing it too. So, there are a few insecurities that I've had along the way. So, कतिचोटि चाहिँ मिस नेपाल जितेपछि अब ब्युटी कन्टेस्ट हो नि त अनि कोही मान्छेको versions of yourself will be different from how you portray or मान्छेले अब क्यामेरामा चाहिँ हेर्दाखेरि अर्कै अपियर गरिदिन्छ अनि कहिलेकाहीँ अब बडी शेमिङ हुँदाखेरि एकदमै दुब्ली भएर भनिदिन्छ कहिलेकाहीँ दाँत मिले छैन भन्छ होइन अनि अल दिस सुपरफिसियल इन्सिक्योरिटिजले ले पनि मलाई अलिकति खाएको थियो कि मिस नेपाल जितेपछि तर देन आई got back to being myself and I learned how to look beyond the noises that comes across.
Yeah. Once you know you, you just don't stop caring about what.
Sometimes you need a wake-up call as well.
What was your wake-up call?
Just a vacation.
Where at though?
I told you, I came here for Miss Nepal North
you
America.
did actually, you did. Yeah.
I just did, Mousham.
You did, but I was not sure if it was exactly that point of your time when
That
you're
was the
feeling.
point.
Oh, okay. Is there any vacation place that you like to go though?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking
Texas?
at Europe. Oh my God, I've come to Texas 2 times in 6 months. So I think I've had enough of Texas for next 6 months.
Yeah, I think make it a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, for the next 1 year, Mousham is not bringing me back to the podcast, so
I mean,
I'll be back.
No, if you'll be back, I'll ask you why Texas, Priyanka. Is everything
Why
okay?
again,
Why?
Priyanka?
Yeah, why Texas
Are you
again?
okay?
Are you okay? You know, yeah. Because then I have to fly from other state too. It's like if Priyanka
Yeah.
I guess Priyanka, I left Texas. You're back again in the same place.
You're planning to leave Texas? Yes, you are. I can. If it's not a no, it's a yes.
Eventually, yes, I think.
Okay.
For Agi Priyanka le bhaneko कुरा हो के त्यो, you know, like there, because I want to explore the world too, right? I mean, in Texas itself, like the place where I live, everybody, we have a small Nepali community, a very big small Nepali community, right? So you don't really feel you're away from that community,
Yeah.
right? So it kind of कस्तो हुन्छ भने अलिकति अरू वर्ल्ड एक्सप्लोर गर्नलाई चाहिँ त्यति धेरै अपर्च्युनिटी पनि हुँदैन क्या बिकज यु आर सो मच डिस्ट्र्याक्टेड होइन अनि यु आर पार्टिसिपेटिङ हियर एन्ड देयर यु हेभ युर फ्रेन्ड्स एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ एन्ड यु द्याट इज यर कम्फर्ट जोन लाइक टेक्सस इज माई कम्फर्ट जोन अनि त्यही भएर पनि मलाई चाहिँ के छ भने आई वान्ट टु बी out of Texas and I love my people of course right the Texas is my comfort zone I want to try myself like get out of Texas and see that is my intention
If you want to, you should.
Yeah.
Where are you looking into?
I'm not
What
exactly
places?
sure too
Oh.
so probably Cali or Colorado
That's nice. I'll come visit you
yeah
then.
please
I need somebody in Colorado. जानै पाएको छैन भनेको होइन भएर.
you've not been to Colorado
I have not.
is Texas the only state after New York
No, it's
No.
not even that bad. I go to Boston and Maryland very often. So Texas is not the only state.
you love New York you said I know
I love New York. That is one city I
is
could
it
live in
like everybody who
forever.
is like who is in the pageant and who is in like modelings and who is
No,
in this
I don't think it's a pageant and modeling thing. I
is
just
it like
think
it's
me
just
thing.
your thing
Yeah. I think I cannot generalize it like that. So म चाहिँ सानैदेखि एकदमै gossip girl अरू हेर्दै हुर्केको भएर चाहिँ there was a certain fascination about New York City. But once I was at New York City, the pace and the vibe of the city is just translucent and it just vibes completely with my personality. Okay? I like being on the go. I like being with myself. I like doing my own thing. I like the rush. I like the gist of the city, the air, the buildings. The buildings are so tall that anything in your head, any problem, any dream will appear so small to you.
it will
So
It's a big
just
place.
the energy of the city is what I need in my life. And I love New York for the people and the place that it is.
it is do you guys like New York or is that a place that you fantasize being every day no and no one here Akash oh I love New York Yeah. Yeah, it's like Priyanka is everybody's against you at this point and
Against the count, no? It's
and
just
it is
like
not
it's
supporting
a personal choice.
it's a personal choice my first impression about New York no of course I love New York right when you think about America you think about New York right
Right.
Ani I love New York that the first time I went to New York now I'm walking towards the Times Square right I'm so excited to see those LED lights those billboards and everything right that is what Times Square really is when you see in the movies and everything but then the smell then there are rats everywhere and I'm scared and I'm concerned and I'm trying my best to enjoy Times Square but then I see rats and the smell it's a lot of people too I love being around people don't get me wrong but then I don't think I'll be able to like live in New York or Times Square I can go there for a weekend like a getaway thing but I don't think I see myself there being forever
Okay.
But I think it is a place of dream. It is a place where you feel you are a very tiny, small dot in the world.
Yeah.
The tall buildings, the people from all across the world, right? You feel you are lost and trying to find yourself as well in some way. And then it kind of like inspires you to dream big as well. That is that place,
Yeah,
right?
it's a very inspiring city.
It is
I'd
an
say
inspiring
it.
city,
I'd-
yes.
I'd-
But anyway, Priyanka, do you dream, right? What are the dreams you dream when you are awake? When you are awake.
That's a very heavy question. I dream of being sufficient in myself and pushing my potentials to a level where there are no stones unturned, where even at a stage of being probably like 50-year-old, I look back and think that everything I'm supposed to do, everything that I'm here put on earth to fulfill has been done. So those dreams are very big. They're very ambitious. To name few out, I would love to be a part of an Ivy League. I'd love to provide for my family in a sense and in a place where there's no regrets remaining. I'd love to be happy in love. I'd love to be happy in life. So these are the dreams that I dream about.
And you believe in those dreams.
Of course I do.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening too, Priyanka. I can
Thank
see that. You have been inspirations to so many of us, all of us, right? And I can definitely see you dreaming as much dreams that you can dream. But also I want to ask you another question that I've asked मैले सबैलाई पनि सोधेको थिएँ हैन म त्यही सोधिहाल्छु मैले सबैलाई पनि कुरा गरेको थिएँ कि आई थिङ्क म प्रियङ्कालाई चाहिँ यो सोध्छु किनभने I love that question so much किनभने I have
What did you ask?
the first time is I asked that question to myself के Priyanka. The way the question came on my mind is I was asking to myself के. So I'm going to ask you. I know.
Okay, you've built up the question to a level that has no return.
Yeah,
Make it good.
Yeah. Okay, intense guys. Come on, Priyanka. Okay, imagine.
Okay.
Okay, imagine. Okay, imagine if someone was writing your book. How would they write?
What do you mean? How would they write?
How
With
would
a
they?
pen.
How? No, come on. It's not the. Okay, wait. Hear me again with the pen. Come on. Okay, a lot of people said that actually when I asked them, it's like a pen, Mousham. What are you asking?
No, what do you mean?
So imagine if someone was writing your book.
Yeah.
They're writing right now.
Yeah.
How would they be writing?
Oh,
From the perspective of writer itself.
what do you mean? How would they be writing?
A writer is writing your book.
Okay, I get the
right
I
now,
get the
right?
I get the gist of it, but what do you exactly want? It's
No,
really vague.
I think it is vague, but also it's not too vague. So let me. So how? What do you think the writer is writing right now? के लेखिरहेछ?
Okay, म तिमीलाई च्याप्टरको नाम दिन्छु है त अहिलेको
च्याप्टरको नाम exactly. Yes.
That's more specific.
Even better.
So अहिलेको च्याप्टरको नाम भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ I think you would write Rolling Stones, because I, in my life, am now pulling out these huge stones from my pocket. You know, when you imagine yourself on a hilltop, especially नेपालको ढुङ्गाहरू खस्छ नि त, अनि कहिलेकाहीँ खसेर नदीमा बग्छ होइन, तर कहिलेकाहीँ खसेर यस्तो हिलटपमा गएर अड्किन्छ जहाँबाट कहिलेकाहीँ खस्नु लागेको गाडीलाई पनि रोकिदिन्छ नि त. You get what I'm saying? It's either a miss or a fall, but it's or sometimes it's a scope. It's a place where the stone just holds you from drowning or falling down. So it's more like rolling stones. Kun stone kata khassa tha chaina tara it's a rolling stone. But the life is moving.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear actually. Arko question, follow up with that, Priyanka. As you're talking about your chapter ko naam Rolling Stone bhanera हैन. What do you think the writer will write in the future?
I hope the writer will write about accomplishments. Anything, but about accomplishments, and I hope he also writes about love.
Love. What about love though?
Just about love, about त्यो त राइटरको हातमा छ नि त, मलाई के थाहा.
And the writerly त हैन Priyanka.
Anticipation पो भनिरहेको.
Writerly त हैन तिम्रो बारेमा like writer will write as he knows about you as much as you know about yourself.
Okay.
So त्यही भएर पनि like what you know about your future or at least foresee राइटरले त्यही नै लेख्ने हो कि
Okay.
त्यही भएर पनि I'm asking you what do
No,
you
I get your question. So I'm the writer right now. I get that too.
yeah
But what I'm thinking is future-मा हेर्दाखेरि चाहिँ ambitions-हरुको कुरा आउँछ तर accomplishments नै ambition-को by-product हो कि so accomplishment-को कुरा आउँछ हैन accomplishment-मा I told you about my dreams, the thing that I think of having in my life, accomplishing and even approaching towards with full speed. So यो कुराहरु चाहिँ accomplishment-मा आओस् जस्तो लाग्छ. The things that I stated out when you asked me what do you dream about with your eyes open. So these are the things that I would want under accomplishments. But when I think about love, I think about happiness and just so much merriness around me. Is that a word, merriness?
we'll
So
take that
much
as a
merriment.
word yeah
Is merriment a word? No?
do you know if that's a word guys is there a way
So
we can
much
find
merry and joy.
that yeah
Joy is a word. Come on.
yeah it's a new word guys
Yeah.
Oxford listen to her
So too much joy around me, okay? Because I think love is synonymous to joy. It's synonymous to happiness. So with love, I don't have a person in my head, but that is what I want to place as a person in my head. Just something joyful.
a follow-up okay the last follow-up for the same thing okay is there anything that you don't want the writer to write
No. No regrets. Anything that has been a part of me, a part of my journey needs to be on the books because that will be, even the smallest thing will be a huge part in making everything happen.
even in the future too
Even in the future.
because you I mean we did started with talking about randomness right so you want the future to be do you want the future to be random or planned Priyanka or mix of both and how
Well, it's necessary that it is random to a point where you can plan things out after a certain point. So as long as you're random, you're not rigid. As long as you're free flowing, you're not constricted to one idea and one scope of place and things, because opportunities come when you leave things randomly. Right? And profession comes when you leave things planned. When you plan things out, there are certain things that comes your way. But when you know where you're headed towards, but leave it randomly open, then you have bigger and more doors opening towards you. Right? So I think I need the roads to be random, but the destination to be rigid.
interesting the road to be random and the destination to be rigid
Okay, so there's a certain destination, but there are many roads to get there. So I can just free flow with the road.
roads here
I can take any exit that I want. That's what I want.
it's like the road less traveled have you heard
I
that
have
poem
Rudyard Kipling.
Robert Frost I
Robert
think.
Frost,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. I love that but miles to go oh my god
You do?
of course I love that
That's my favorite
Yeah.
poem.
The
The
miles-
road less traveled
yep.
and If.
I've not heard
I
it.
think
I've
If
never
is from Rudyard Kipling.
probably I think
Yes.
but yeah the miles to go before I sleep and when he says about I
Yeah.
choose the one
I chose the road less
Less
traveled, and
traveled.
that has made all the difference.
that has made all the difference and it is so inspiring
It is very inspiring.
And when I'm like lost that is what really comes to mind it's like yeah you are choosing the road less traveled and you have miles to go before you sleep and you'll make it you'll do it
We all will. We all will.
the last thing that I really want to know about you Priyanka is what is life for Priyanka
Life is love, life is joy, life is happiness, life is belonging to a place, life is caring about people, life is knowing what you want to do tomorrow when you wake up, but also knowing that the day is long. So you have to leave things at the hands of God at times, because if you believe, if you hope, if you have faith, then nothing in the world can ever bring you down.
yeah hope peace love faith
Belief.
I think that has been like the theme of the podcast itself because we have been talking everything about it but thank you Priyanka I mean thank you Priyanka for being my first guest for this podcast. Thank you, Priyanka, for helping me bring this all together, right? Because I have been thinking about a podcast, but never done it. It's like, yeah, and you were that spark, and now we're finally doing it. I did it when even I didn't have a studio on my own. There was no plan, but I was like, Priyanka is here, and when she is saying, right, okay, let's do a podcast, I cannot miss that. And thank you, my people, Akas, Sabine. Thank you, my bro. Thank you, everybody, for helping me with all this thing, bringing together. It takes a team effort to make anything happen, and this podcast is the entire team. So thank you so much. Anything that you wanna say to the people watching or will be watching when they see us together for the podcast?
Yes, firstly, I'd have to start off by congratulating you, and you have the best of my wishes. Anything you need me for, just a text away. Let me know. I'm here to help. I'm here to spread happiness, and I'm always here for you, Mousham. So congratulations and best wishes once again. Thank you for everybody. Thank you to everybody for making this happen. Lastly, I would like to believe there are mostly people from Dallas watching. So I love Dallas. Thank you for bringing me here over and over again.
Definitely 1974 80 music. That's where this podcast came to life as well.
And it's beautiful that we're connected by music, because anything that has been conceived through music will never falter along the way. So I think our bond will also be special forever, like the beautiful music that the band that we're touring with creates.
Next time we'll do a podcast again when we're back, probably in Colorado.
We should.
Yeah, we
We
will
should.
definitely. I'll be inviting you, and we'll talk more about things, more about love, more about life, hope, belief, and Priyanka Rani Joshi. Yeah, but thank you
Thank
again,
you.
Priyanka, and goodbye. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. Yeah.